Hello, 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 hello. What is good? What is good, people? It is Monday. We are back with another episode of Assembly of Excellence. I am your host for this evening, Deep Entropy, last of a writer's creed. Blessings, praise, glory, honor to Most High. Thank you all for your attendance, for your likes, for your shares, for your comments, for your thoughts. We are back, ready, able, with a agenda, with a voice, with a purpose tonight. I hope all is well. I hope you enjoyed your weekends. I hope you got the clarity, the peace, just the relaxation that you could, going back into the work we can always be challenging to say the least, but here we are. And I'm grateful, very grateful to be with y'all one more time, man, just to kick my thoughts off. You know, there's always something going on in the world, whether it's joyous or it's an unfortunate time and occurrence in someone's life. The fact of the matter is, these things happen, and I would rather acknowledge them and bring them to the light than to let them escape, fall through the cracks, never to be heard or thought of again. A lot of people don't have the voice to speak on the things that are going on with them or around them. And that's where I step in. I'm not going to change my approach, my dialogue, my opinions, or my views on what I see from my perspective. I'm always going to be open and willing to learn and gather information that I might not have known about something. But in terms of giving just sheer, authentic, raw opinion or fact, I would never censor myself. But we got something to talk about tonight. And before I play this clip, I want to make sure that you go into this with an open mind. Let's not think about the theatrics or me. Remove me from this equation. Remove this camera from the equation, this site, anything that might be blocking you from fully digesting what you're about to watch. Because everything that we speak about here is happening over and over and over again, and it's been this way for generations upon generations. This is not new, but just because it's not new doesn't make it okay. So, to give you some context and some background into what you're about to watch, a 5-year old was left alone in a residential area. And what you're going to hear, it might be very sensitive. I give credit to the content creator and uploader of this video who did a little more digging on this. I'll make sure to give them credit down at the bottom when this is said and done. Copyright restrictions and things of that nature. They really don't play around with what type of material you use in terms of these platforms. So keep in mind that this is not for the emotionally weak. If you're not able to handle what you're about to see and hear, then you're not probably going to want to watch it long. But that being said, I'm going to play this video and then we're going to get into exactly why we are here.
What's wrong? Police department. She went to the store. Police department. Before we actually watch the end of this video, when the officers actually confront the mother, did you actually sense the fear in this young 5-year-old's voice? These were always the hardest calls for me because I could relate it to my own life and my own kids. And sadly, there are so many other children out there right now that are being neglected in this same fashion.
Yes, what's going on? I just went to go see Grandma for a second.
You yes me from you.
What happened?
You had the door open, was yelling for you. The neighbors called.
Hold up, we're gonna handcuff you. Don't make it worse than it has to be.
You heard and saw it for yourself. What a disturbing video. It's one thing to get in front of these lights, in front of these screens, and laugh and joke and create entertainment for the viewer. You want to make people laugh, you want people to enjoy themselves when they visit your page. You want to bring a sense of yourself to these platforms. But then on the flip side, you get a story like this where if it was never recorded and documented, the world wouldn't see it. The world wouldn't know that this was happening. I'm the type of person that I can go from laughing and joking around to being inquisitive and wanting to learn. I could go from watching entire documentaries to learning about the universe to watching skits, sports. But we have a real life, non-scripted scenario here. Where do we start? Do we start with why was this child left alone? The answer, there is no good answer for why. At 5 years old, you have no business being left alone. There is no excuse. There is no any There's nothing that you can tell me that can make it okay for a child to be left to their own devices. Mothers, to me, represent something so precious and so beautiful that they're supposed to be held at a specific and certain standard under, the eyes of the Lord first and foremost, and secondly, under, the leadership of the man within the household. They're supposed to be father, mother, child, in that order. Well, God, father, mother, child, in that order. The video does not depict there being a male role model. And I don't know if he exists. I don't know what the relationship is or isn't with him. But what I do know, and from what I have seen, is that this young lady has some serious, serious problems that exceed even my or your comprehension or understanding. See, for me, she is a African American lady, and statistically, with how society already looks at black women, with Sukiyana, Sexy Red, Nicki Minaj, and the list goes on. The way they already look at the black women, this right here doesn't make it any better in terms of what we're supposed to be representing and how we're supposed to be representing ourselves, our creator, just being humans in this world where temptation, death, fear, chaos is just everywhere. This does not make us look any better in the eyes of the opposite race. But I will tell you right now, off the top of my head, I'm not someone who puts anyone in a box. I think any race of woman be capable of doing the exact same thing. And in fact, I've seen it. I see it all the time. It's not just directed towards black women, but right here, what's really going on here? Because the kid was frightened. It was to the point to where the police literally had to come to this house to find out what was actually going on. And they get there, this little child is hysterical, trying to figure out where he can go to get help. What's he going to do if his mother doesn't come home? Now, a lot of the people that were in the comment section had a lot of different feelings towards the officer, as they felt like he was being dismissive of the child. I personally don't see it that way. I believe in this particular situation, the officer was surveying the property to make sure that his safety and the child's safety was in good hands. You know, the officer is going into an area that could possibly be fairly dangerous He doesn't really know what he's about to walk into. And then you have, a child that's being completely frightened out of their everlasting mind, standing at the front porch, screaming, crying, yelling, where my mommy at? This officer has to definitely be on his P's and Q's. He had no idea what he was going to be walking into. Something that I want to note as well. This indicated to me a couple things I noticed. We already established that the fact that this mother completely abandoned her child and left him for God knows how long in order to go to the gas station, which later on we found out that it was about drugs. These are just furthermore establishing solid proof as to what can happen when you lay down with the wrong person. When you decide that your sexual desires override your logic and your thinking, your conscience, and your purpose and your walk. In order for any human being to be able to do what she did, there are certain characteristics about you that have to, for me personally, me looking at this video, it showed me that she's not someone that I would want children with. She's not someone that I would even enter into a sexual relationship with. Not even on a temporary basis, not even just for fun. Because at any given moment, you can tell just based off of her neglect for her child that she has other indicators that she is self-destructive. She is chemically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually imbalanced. And then she doesn't display the best decision making. Light and love, hello. While I got you here, salutes to you. My thoughts and prayers with you, of course. This is a real touchy one. A real touchy one. And I want to point these indicators out for men and for women moving forward, because we want to explore the world. We want to be free. We want to sow our seeds everywhere that we possibly can plant them. And then when we do as we want to, because it's our God-given right to lay where we want to lay our heads at, we end up intertwined and tangled into soul ties with men and women that we later on regret ever encountering in our life. And then we have headaches and we get frustrated and irritated and pissed off when we end up going to court every day, worrying about our windows getting busted out, worrying about cheating, worried about STDs, worried about bad parenting. worried about why we so bitter and hateful, and with all these different things come with wanting to be promiscuous and playing around with the opposite gender because it's so readily available to us. Now we got ourselves a viral video that, for one, it shows black women in an awful light, which makes men of all cultures look at them sideways, look at them as if they're just uncontrollable, incapable, uncoachable women to even want to be bothered with. But then you have to look at the men, who look at these women and prey on them. See, yeah, she's trifling, very trifling. She should be arrested, and she was arrested for exactly what she neglected to do as a mother, because she left her child home. God knows how long. The door was unlocked. Anyone could have entered into that home, snatched that child up, killed that child. And when she got back, she could have came home to an entirely different environment all together, just like that. All it takes. The neighborhoods aren't always that safe in the beginning, but then you decide that you're going to leave and go do whatever it is you doing. So your needs and your wants and your desires are that more important than your child. And if you watch the video, I might, matter of fact, I'm gonna play it back one more time just so you can actually see it for yourself. I'm gonna play it one more time. Um, for the people who decide to watch this stream in its entirety, you're gonna get this at the beginning and probably around 23, 24 mark. But I'm gonna play this one more time so you can see exactly what I'm speaking about.
What's wrong? Police department. She went to the store. Police department. Before we actually watch the end of this video, when the officers actually confront the mother, did you actually sense the fear in this young 5-year-old's voice? These were always the hardest calls for me because I could relate it to my own life and my own kids. And sadly, there are so many other children out there right now that are being neglected in this same fashion.
Yes, what's going on? I just went to go see grandma for a second.
You yes me from you.
What happened?
You had the door open, was yelling for you. The neighbors called.
Oh no, we're gonna handcuff you. Don't make it worse than it has to be.
I hope that gives you more context. I wasn't exaggerating. This isn't just a TikTok. This isn't some made up video disguised to garner 100 million views and likes and comments. This wasn't just some random guy walking around with a camera and then just stumbled into something that could have been fatally tragic for everyone. This actually happened. And the way that she, was just so casual about it. Notice that the guy who actually commentated on this story said himself this is a situation that's happened multiple times. This isn't just something that you see every blue moon like a comet. This happens way more often than we like to believe. And it all comes back to broken women and broken men. Broken women and broken men. So you see, when you're a lost soul, you don't have any direction, no clarity, you don't have any lights in you, straddling like a ripple in the ocean. You're being tossed back and forth in a big ass wave with no discernible exit or beginning. You create these lifestyles. You form and plant and grow these mental blocks, these spiritual dams that refrain and keep you from absorbing healthy nutrients to feed you and make you healthier and better. You create these environments and these families and these homes with your hurt and brokenness, and you get exactly what you just saw in this clip all the time. And I've seen some heinous shit. I've seen scenarios where the child was left and the mom actually committed, you know what I'm saying? That's there's women who's actually unalived themselves and left their children. And why would you do that? What would put a person in that type of condition to think and say to themselves that this life is so unbearable? To the woman in this story, I pray and hope that she gets proper help. I hope her family is involved in her child's life, in her life. Although, based on the video, it doesn't look as if they really have that much inclusion in the decision making and the upbringing that she imparts on her children. Just looking from the outside in, if she can do that to her little one, she's definitely been a reflection of something that happened to her. There's absolutely no way a mother could do something like that to their child if it wasn't done to them. I really truly believe that a lot of the things that we do right now as adults are things that was done to us as children. And I'm speaking from people who haven't gotten the resolve and the healing and the help. Those people. I'm not talking about folks that did the homework and research and prayed and had church and had the proper people around them that helped them climb out of these dark places. I'm talking about the folks that still walk in it, that still live in it to this day, and think that it's okay to smoke around their kids and to have random men around their children, to cuss, to be ignorant, to be violent, to conduct themselves in such disparaging ways that their children watch and soak up everything that they see, and they think that it's okay to impart that on them. I'm talking about those people. Like that's what I'm saying. You know, it's one of those situations where I can only speak for myself. I know my weaknesses, I know my sins, I know the hurt and pain that I cause on people. I know what can damage someone. I know what damages myself. I know if I'm self-destructive. Because I've been in a place to where I had to hold myself accountable. I didn't have to have people telling me, but I'm fortunate enough to where there's people that will tell me. But you are, grown enough to where you have the capacity to have empathy, sympathy, compassion, reasoning. You can deduct what's right and wrong. You know what's hurtful and what's not hurtful. But then you have on the flip side, you have people that lie to you, that will use you, that will drain you, that will poison you with words, with substances, with manipulation, with aesthetics, with beauty, with intangible possessions. They will trick you and mold you into things that are contrary to the life that you actually want. And a lot of it is on purpose, and some of it is self-sabotaging. There's different variables to it. With this woman right here, I honestly don't believe that she had people really in her ear telling her, no, this is not how it's supposed to be moving as a African American woman. No, this is not parenting. This is not real parenting. You're no smoking, drinking, this, that, and the third. No, this is not acceptable. We're gonna shame you. We're gonna make you feel small about it. We're gonna hold you accountable for your actions and how you choosing to move and operate, because it's not right at all. I don't think that's happening there. And if it is happening, and like a lot of us, we hear people speak the word to us, but we're rebellious and we want to do what we want, then you know, and that happens as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's screwed up. It really is. And my hopes and my prayers is that this child gets a good chance at life. That he doesn't become something that she created out of her ignorance, out of her inability to get the help that she properly needed to heal and to find her true self. Because when I look at her and I look at people who end up going to jail and spending life behind bars and things, when I look at people like that, I just think these are shells of who they once was. I don't think that they are that person anymore. They picked a side, and unless they fight for their soul and they fight to become free of the evil that is taking hold of them, choking the life out of them, until they come to the point where they recognize it and want to do something about it, we're just continually going to see what we see right now, and it's sad. It's very disturbing. And imagine being 5 years old, left alone in your house in a neighborhood where people probably shoot all the time. You don't know none of these grown ass men and women outside of your property, walking up and down the street. At 5 years old, I was scared of the fucking boogeyman and random ass noises and creaks and shit like that in the house. I was scared to look under my bed at 5 years old. Shit, in 2023, you better be scared that a bullet is going to fly through your window by accident and hit somebody by mistake. In 2023, you better be worried about someone taking revenge out on your father or out on your mother because of some shit they did outside of the street. You ain't got nothing to do with it. But you just you're a little baby. You don't know nothing about life. Your family and the people that's supposed to protect and provide for you got all this dirt on them. They doing all this crazy mess out here, and it's coming back to the home where you're supposed to feel the most safe. And this is what happens when we don't create better environments for ourselves and for our loved ones, when we don't do the internal work to rid ourselves of damaging spirits and things of that nature. This is what happens all the time. It never fails. Now this little man, he has an unfortunate job of probably ending up having to become a man way younger than he ever had to be. At 5 years old, you're supposed to be just a kid and run around and be joyous and not worry about bills and pregnancies and all that wild shit. You're not supposed to be thinking about none of that.
Shit like that, bro.
But it looks like he's going to end up having to be the man in the house. And Lord willing, she lives to see him grow up. I hope that their relationship becomes better than what it is right now, because kids kill their parents. They walk away from them. They rather be homeless than to live with them. They turn to the streets, turn to gangs, to drugs. Some become great lawyers and great doctors. Some truly overcome with the grace of God. Some truly overcome their upbringing despite the hardships that their parents put them through. Glory be to God for keeping a lot of these children safe and covered. You would think that at some point a child would be the reason why you change and want to be better and want to grow and want to be the best that you can possibly be. And unfortunately, that doesn't always work. It's it's just one of those. I'm gonna say this before we close out. That child doesn't have a voice. We're that child's voice. If we don't say anything about it, if we don't bring attention to it, women and men like her will continue to desensitize these kids. The kids that we see out here skipping school and smoking on people's properties and having all this unadulterated sex, they're reflections of mothers like her. Think about that for a second. They setting them up for failure. That's why parents don't be knowing when their kids are getting touched on by teachers. This is why parents don't know their kids got 5, 6 kids out here walking around with HIV. This is why their parents don't know that they got a hit out on them because they got their son or daughter in rival beefs and gangs. And now people are looking for the son or daughter, but they can't get to the son or daughter. So they kill the mother or the father because the mother and father raised the daughter and son to be basically another plot in the grave, another number, another statistic. That little child that was left, I pray, has a better outcome than a lot of the youth out here right now. And that's all I got to say about that. And that's how I feel about it. I thank you for sharing your thoughts, for being with me tonight. Having these type of conversations are never easy. But it's the reality that we face every single day. And I know a lot of people don't really care, but that's the problem in the first place. People don't care. Enough people don't care. I'm going to continue to bring these things to the forefront in my own way. Everyone has their own style, and I respect it. But me speaking on this from how I think about it is, I think, very important. I see. I think tomorrow or it's Wednesday. We may be going on tomorrow. I don't want to guarantee tomorrow, but Wednesday is definitely guaranteed, Lord willing. I have something set up for Wednesday. I have something set up for Saturday. I have returning guest Quest Reads and Blue Flames the Poets pulling up on Saturday for Three Kings. It's going to be a good one. Wednesday is going to be a good one too. I try to mix it up a little bit, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you for pulling up. If you haven't caught the last live that I did with these gentlemen, check it out. That was a very, very good dialogue between 3 adult men. That's how, if you want to compare how you're supposed to have conversations with other like-minded men, that's how you do it. Hold up, I think I got a guest in the building. Who we got in here? Who we got in here? Are you present? If you in the building, let me know. Let me know, because we just had a nice little convo.
Yeah, I'm here,
What's
man. What's
good?
going on? What's up with you?
Work, man. Work, man. Just bringing some truth to the forefront. Had to cover this one story, man.
All right. Go ahead, bring me up to speed. What's good?
You know what? I don't typically do this, but even do you one better. I'm gonna play the clips so you can see for yourself exactly what I was talking about. Um, tell me how you feel about this.
What's wrong? Hello? Police department? She went to the store. Police department? Before we actually watch the end of this video, when the officers actually confront the mother, did you actually sense the fear in this young 5-year-old's voice? These were always the hardest calls for me because I could relate it to my own life and my own kids. And sadly, there are so many other children out there right now that are being neglected in this same fashion.
Yes. What's going on? I just went to go see grandma for a second.
You yes me from you.
What happened?
You had the door open, was yelling for you. The neighbors called.
Hold up, we're gonna handcuff you. Don't make it worse than it has to be.
There you have it in 3D. Nothing scripted about that. And I done already said what I had to say about it. But if you got any thoughts on it, if you feel some type of way towards that particular case, you're more than welcome to speak on it.
Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, I mean, you covered pretty much the majority of it, so I'm just gonna give you something brief. But it's something that's been going on from generations. You know what I'm saying? I call it babies having babies. And meaning the parents is not really fully developed as an adult, but they're in that position, they're in that role. You know what I'm saying? And they're not really ready to stop certain parts of their life to be there like their kids need them. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of the kids is going on like that today. Parents choose to just party hardy and nonstop, or they might go to their neighbor's house just to do something for themselves, just to get lit, drunk, high, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? And they're not thinking about a tragedy that could be going on. That little 20 minutes that they think is harmless, that little 30 minutes, that little hour, especially a kid that's 5 years old, they can fucking drown or something in there, or go in the kitchen and set the whole apartment and shit on fire. Shit, all that have happened with situations that you just played. So I think that's an eye opener. I think people should take that more serious. It's called a babysitter, to be honest. I mean, like, it's responsible. It's a responsibility thing that you probably don't want to take your kids everywhere you go, especially with these single mother households. They can't just take their kids everywhere they go. You see what I'm saying? Because most of them have so many of them. So in the case of them, they're going to have to either hire somebody there, or send them to like a uncle or aunt's house, maybe grandma, while they go out and party hardy all night, because it's to prevent them from being arrested and going to jail for neglect. That's straight up neglect, especially for a 5-year-old. Now, I will say this: um, depending on how you raise your child or whatever, if somebody's raising them the right way, once your kid gets of age to the point where you know they can do for themselves and stuff like that, then I don't think an hour or two will hurt. I don't think that's considered neglect. You know what I'm saying? Because you was there for them as a youngin. You know what I'm saying? So when they get a little older, you know what I'm saying, you feel like they're old enough to handle it. I'll say teenage years and all that. Come on, that's not neglect to me. You can go out for about an hour and come back. Because at that point, there you should have raised your kid to be a little more responsible. Something go on crazy, they got a phone. These kids got phones today. They can give you a holler, you dad or mom or whatever like that. But in that particular video, it's so many cases like that because it's a lot of women that has a lot of little kids, little small kids, and they still want to be the life of the party. They still want to be the lit. They want to be the it girl and all that. That's dead and gone, baby. You gotta let it go. That party ain't for you. You a full-time mom. You know what I'm saying? So your attention should be first and foremost on those little ones. And I think a lot of young. I'm gonna start with the young parents. If you're 30 and over and you do this shit, you a fucking trifling ass. And youngins, I'm just gonna say the 20, the 18, 20 olds or whatever that might still got a little immaturity in them. You know, we got to give them some type of a pass for this because, like I just said, babies have babies. They're not fully mature and fully developed to know what to do in those situations because they kind of torn on uh still trying to be in a youth and and then it's torn from the youth and then to the maturity of an adult of a parent role too. So they like in a a battlefield with that. So with that, I would say instead of just shaming them and going on them hard, I think what's going on right now, I don't think it's enough support for the babies having babies. I don't think they get enough support. I don't think nobody can. No, they need somebody there to show them the way. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have nobody to show them the way, you shouldn't have had them motherfuckers. You shouldn't have been having sex at an early age. Probably started at around 11 or 12 years old, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Girls be spreading their legs open that early, as young as 10 years old for a motherfucker who ain't got the right parent with them. Yeah, it goes down with these little girls. So they real fast like that, and if they somebody like that, then damn, that's gonna be an issue because they gonna already think they grown at 16. You see what I'm saying? They be thinking they can rule the roost at 16, tell their mother what to do. So it comes from it's a generational thing. This ain't nothing that just happened. It's not just something in this generation. This shit been happening since the 60s, 70s too. It's the difference is the generations is different. So I mean, I think back then, grandma, grandma, big mom, and all of them, they was hands on how the development of their grandkids and kids came up. They was more focused on bringing up the family. I don't think that's like that no more. I think that's gone. I think that's missing out of families. And I just think, like I just said, with the youngest have babies having babies, I just think that the family should kind of stick together and they should kind of show them the way. I don't think it's enough older adults showing the younger parents the way, and they perish like that. Or you have situations like that where they're not thinking, you know what I'm saying, with a mature mind. They thinking more of with a selfish kid mind. Like, I'm just gonna go out here and smoke these drugs real quick. It's gonna be cool. I'll come right back. And that's how shit happens. So you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what's missing in today's landscape. They don't have nobody in their family or no mother, no father, or maybe an older brother, somebody that can show them the way to not do that or neglect their kids like that. And I think that's what's missing from the generation today. So we as a whole, we need to do better with that instead of bashing young parents. Now, like I said, if you're 30 and over and you still have this mentality, you are the problem. Something wrong with your mind, and your ass do need to go to jail for that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you haven't matured from the age of 20 to 30 and your mindset is still, I'm going to go get this quick 20, 30 minutes and nothing going to happen, then your ass need to sit down for that. And that's just where I stand with it. It's a lot. It's that stuff still goes on today, though.
Yeah, bro. It amazes me, anytime I see women get in these spaces and they talk about how men ain't this and how men ain't that and we don't need men and they can do all the parenting by themselves. They can do all the hard labor. They can pay all the bills. They can take care of mortgage, change tires. They can do all of these things. But if you click your feet together like Cinderella, you're not going to Kansas, folks. Where you're going to end up is in a little place called reality. And in
Here come
reality,
that knife. Here come that knife.
you have mothers who smoke crack, who allow their boyfriends to sexually touch on their children while their children is telling them, "Mommy, such and such did such and such." Oh no, he didn't. You're just making that up. Where's the strength then? Where's the independency then? Where's womanhood then when it's time to stand up and hold these women accountable for choosing and picking these men that are clearly pieces of welfare and prison sentence? Where is everyone rallying then? See, it goes back to what I said earlier. When men and women decide that they want to just go out here and sleep with whoever they want to sleep with because they want to get their nut off, they want to feel good for a good couple seconds, and then post clarity nut comes in and you realize you really wasn't attracted to them in the long term, but you've already done sealed the deal. Now you've created a soul tie. You've created a pair bond between you and someone that you really don't even like in the first place. They were a good jump off until you got what you wanted. Now you see their personality. Now you see them for who they really are. Now you can tell that you really don't want to be bothered with them. Well, now you stuck with them. Now you got to deal with everything that comes with them. And what comes with them is women like this who leave their children alone for who knows how long to go do whatever the hell they want to do. That's what you got. That's what you deal with when you decide to step out of divine calling and purpose to do what you please. That's what happens. And that's the same thing with women. I give it to both sides, because at the end of the day, lady, if you didn't want this child, why did you have sex with the guy? Why did you let him bust all inside of you like that? Why? What was so sexually appealing about him? What was so smooth? What was so charismatic? What was so spiritually resounding about this guy that made you say, "Oh shit, I must have this guy's"? You can't make this shit up. I promise you can't make this shit up. If I hadn't seen the video for myself, I would have just went on about my day. But like, the shit is sad. I'm sitting up here laughing and making a joke out of it, but the reality is the shit is real. That kid is going to end up having to be the man of the house. He'll fuck around and be telling her to shut the hell up, because he ain't gonna have no respect for her. How can he respect her? He's going to be a reflection of what she is doing to him and what he sees out of her. He might not even respect her. He might slap her around when he get older. If she lives that long, or if he lives that long, heaven forbid. I'm not wishing bad on nobody, but come on, when you neglectful like that, you put people at risk. And you increase the chances of bad shit happening when you're fucking stupid like that. Someone tell me I'm lying. I'm wrong. I'm just hallucinating. You know why I was able, and why we're still here an hour into the live stream? Because the shit is real. Go ahead, bro.
No, you good. You good. I mean, you preaching, bro, and the shit still goes on to this day, man. I see young kids right now, and I mean, I know they're going through some shit. You know what I'm saying? And most like we touching on there with that video, man. Most of them come from single mom households. And when we say single mom, we're saying the mom is only in there. She might got boyfriends and all that, but she not with dad no more. That's what single mom we talk about. Like, she don't have the biological father dealing with all them damn kids she got. That's what we talking about. We're not talking about, and the reason why we got to use biological father is because you can't take a clown and put a crown on him. You know what I'm talking about? You can't just go grab Joe Blow and then say, "Hey, come on and beat their dad." It don't work that way, ladies. It don't work that way. When you made a decision to spread your legs like butter and give it to Tom, Dick, and Harry, that's the father. That's just what it is. When you did that, that's their dad. It don't matter. It don't matter what happened after that point. It don't matter if they ran off and became old pimp daddy and got 10 or 30 on their arm and they left you in there like that in that hospital. It don't matter. You did that. You spreaded your legs like butter. And when that happens, you got to be responsible. You got to be responsible of what comes out of your body. It's your responsibility at the end of the day. It's nobody else's. You got to stand on that. You got to stand on that decision. Like my man touched on up there, that 30 seconds of pleasure, that's your 18. You got to deal with that. Now, how you choose to deal with that, it's gonna be on you. Because while we got a child support system, while we got all this stuff going on, you can't take a clown and put a crown on them. It's not gonna work. It won't work. And then what you gonna do? You throw the clown back to the circus, right? And then you go get another bozo and come in there. Can I put the crown on him? No, because he's not his biological dad. See, by biological mean the person that you made it with, whoever you made it with, that's the only person that can really understand the true essence of that kid. That's just what it is. I mean, you can slice it or whatever. He the only person that can really understand. So if you're out here trying to make all these babies on purpose, expecting the government to give you assistance, if you one of them, because we do have them out here, then you deserve it every bit that come with that. You know, it's not fair to say I can make about 7, 8, 10 babies, and then on one hand, and then say they dad ain't shit on the other hand, but you spreaded your legs like that for them. You see what I'm saying? That's not cool to do that. And then in the middle, you got these kids that they don't have no dad. So like my man touched on up there, they gonna grow up with all these type of issues and all of that because the mom or whoever their mom is, they failed. They didn't give them that family. You see what I'm saying? Because the kid need both. You know what I'm saying? A kid need both parents. It's not just a mama thing. It's not just a dad thing. It's both. So you know, like I said, I see it. I still see it today. I mean, it's kids come up there with handicap issues, meaning they're only getting one side of the story. They don't know the other part of the book. You know what I mean? They don't understand that. They only watch and observe from one half of their existence, which is the single mom household. But they don't know anything about how their dad lived. They don't even see their dad. They don't know where he lived. They don't know what he about. You see what I'm saying? It goes on out here. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? It's not all the same. It's not all the same situations. Sometimes they do leave and step off. But like I touched on, if you make a decision like that, you got to stand on it. If that's how you're moving out here, you got to stand on it. Vice versa. If you get in the bed and you make a baby, you do have to stand on your decisions. Whether you're a man or a woman, you got to stand on that. That's the responsibility piece. And it's a lot of kids that's being left out off a lack of responsibility, man. It's straight up. And then, like you touched on in that video, it's easy to say a dad is a deadbeat because he's not around. You see what I'm saying? His presence is not felt with his kid. But here you got that mom right there in that video. She actually has the physical custody, and the child is in her home, and she go out and party and neglect the kid. So tell me who the good parent now? When you have situations like that, if the city or the state or whatever awarded you physical and gave you your child or whatever, and the dad is nothing, he's trash, child support, whatever you want to say about him, why would you do something like that to a 5-year-old if you so good as a mom? If you so 100, why would you do that? See what I'm saying? So the truth is, they the same way as who they spreaded them legs for. They the same. They just it's the same. It's the same type of character. Because if they wasn't like that, why would they choose somebody like that to be the dad? You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it all comes back to decision making and doing the right thing, man. And I just feel like a lot of that's going on. And then after they do something like that, they want somebody that's the opposite. They want somebody that's actually trying to be about the children and take care of the kids and be responsible, work, provide a household and all of that, and a safe environment for the kid. But guess what? They wasn't never safe from the jump. And then when they get somebody like that, then they actually expect a person that's not, not the parent to do not just the absent father's work. They expect that person to do their job. There's women out here that would get with a guy that's, I guess they got their shit together with kids and expect that dude to take care of all her kids so she can go party and do whatever the hell she wants. Women do that too. That's going on out here too. I'm speaking on it because it's sad to see that. Like, why would you do that? Why would you, you know what I'm saying, get with somebody that's trying to look out and then you just stay the same? It's still neglectful. Even if you get with somebody that's responsible, you still got that neglect spirit. That's still neglectful. Because you supposed to change your ways. And that go back into what I said in the first piece is these, I'm gonna say these young parents, they're selfish as hell. All they think about is they self. They don't know how to be responsible. They don't know how to be a mother. They don't know how to be a dad. You know what I'm saying? All they know is sad as shit. All they know is how to think about for themselves because they don't have the brain power or the capacity to separate that selfish bullshit from what really matters. They don't understand. So what they do is they go ahead and run away from their responsibilities, and you have situations like that video, real neglectful shit going on out here because they're afraid to do what they created to do. And it's not just the dad running away, the mothers run away too. So it's not a gender specific thing. It's a parent thing. If your ass is trifling, your ass is trifling. I don't give a fuck. You're trifling. To do that, to bring a life in the world and then run away from it, you're an asshole. You're a scumbag for that. You're a low life. Yeah. Because that kid ain't asked to be here and you're gonna do him like that? That's fucked up. There ain't no excuses for that. And we gotta, like I said, we gotta do better bringing these kids up, bringing these being a little support system, because it's a mental drain to go from providing, trying to take care of yourself, right? Because you're coming up, you trying to thinking how I'm gonna do for myself, and then it's like, damn, I gotta do for somebody under me too. Yeah, that shit tough. That shit tough, and I'm just be honest. Everybody don't have the brain power for that. They don't have the mental power, the mental surge to pick that up. So I'm not trying to make no excuses, but it would be better if we had like young parent classes or something like that, so they can kind of think, because it's all about the mental, the thinking. They thinking is fucked up. They gonna think about themselves because they're still young. They not thinking about I got to do for my kid. You see what I'm saying? They haven't grown to that point yet. So that's why you see situations like, should I get a babysitter or do I want to go out and party? I'm gonna choose party. I'm gonna choose myself first. Fuck my kid, because I'm used to doing that anyway. Before I was doing this before I had a kid. So it's a selfish act because you already got the kid in the world now, and you couldn't fucking pause to look after your own kid. You chose your selfish ass over them kids, which is trifling as fuck. And that's no bullshit. You got it.
Okay, we all grown up in here. We know what it is. It's just a never ending cycle of lack of established rules and foundations, a lack of family, a lack of tribe, a lack of community, and it's just made to look like it's cool. Like there's really no, you don't see commercials about them talking about horrible parents and shit like that. You don't see that. I'm gonna say this, and these will be like my final thoughts on this. There was a story I watched last week. It was about a gang member in Chicago. I don't remember his name. He was a hood type of a legend, if that's a real thing. His mom was the opposite of his lifestyle. But for whatever reason, he joined the gang and decided that because his mom had some money waiting for him, he couldn't wait for it. So he set her up to be executed. Let it sink in your head. $82,000 was going to be left to him. I believe it was for school. But because he chose a different path, I guess he felt like he wasn't going to get it. So he had her executed. And now he's spending the rest of his life behind bars. Why did I bring that up? For my final thought. Well, every road leads to somewhere. And just like this mother here who casually just left her child to fend for itself. Something happened with this guy who was spending his life behind bars. Something led him to the lifestyle that he's in. That being said, we gotta do better. We definitely gotta do better. Stop with this I'm independent, I don't need a man shit. Stop acting like you don't need a leader. Stop acting like you're too prideful to have someone in that position to guide and take you to places that could be beneficial to you and the family. It's not a curse. It's not like he's gonna treat you like Kuta Kente and beat your ass when you don't cook, or like y'all be exaggerating with this. I don't need a man shit because I don't want to be told what to do. Like, come on. But that's all I got. That's all I got to say about it. I'm glad the little one is good. I hope he doesn't become like every hard-headed kid that's out here. I hope the mom gets some type of help and is held truly accountable. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
It's just a sad situation again, man. Seeing something like that. I mean, it's not the first. Hopefully, it'll stop. It'll be the last. But it's just crazy, man. These parents don't get it. it takes a tragedy, or if somebody call the child protectives on your ass, and they knock on the door and find out your ass ain't in there. You down the street for about 10 minutes getting some cigarettes. You done lost your custody and you can't see your child no more. Now you all over the place breaking down, crying. I was just gone for 3 minutes. Well, them 3 minutes didn't cost you your baby. So see what I'm saying? You say you love them and all of that. That's what you say. You say you love them, but when it's time to do, it just seems like there's a lot of selfish acts going on. You know, you don't do anything. You do what's best. You're supposed to do what's best for them, but there's so many parents that's doing what's best for just they self, and that's why you see situations like that. Stop choosing your damn self all the time over your kids, and then you'll have a better outcome, people. Stop doing that. They didn't, like I just said, they didn't ask to be here. So it's your job, your duty, you know what I'm saying, your honor to them to make a clear path, because they coming through now. You know what I'm saying? Your life gotta, I'm not saying your life completely has to stop, but it's gonna have to slow the hell down. Like, we're gonna have to bring it down. We got to bring it down some notches. If you had a kid at 18, we're gonna have to bring it down some notches. 17, some notches. And yeah, you don't, they go back to the babies having babies. You don't have the brain knowledge to understand what do it mean to bring it down. And they need somebody in their ear, somebody that's experienced in their ear, to let them know what that means. Because you can't ruin a life that you created because of your selfish ways. So let that sink in and melt. You know what I'm saying? Because people gotta, pay attention to that. You fucking the future way up. And touching back on that story that you said with young boy going into the gang and all of that, it was real simple. And you said his mom was the opposite. That was straight rebellion. That was straight rebellion. I think he only went in there because she never gave him what he needed. That's why he went in the gang. See, she probably wanted him to be more responsible and not choose that lifestyle and all of that. But as a parent, you got to understand, you got to put the right stuff around these kids so they won't go down that path. And I'm not saying she didn't know that she shouldn't do that. She seemed like she had her head on her shoulders and she was doing the right stuff. But if you're in that position, you have to, once again, think about the child. And I really felt like that in that position, she should have, put somebody in his life that he can respect and listen to, for him not to go down that dark road, that path that leads to jail for life or a bullet in his brain. So that's just my take on all of that. But other than that, we just gotta do better raising kids and just being available, and being available for the parents too. I'm not just saying the kids is the innocent, but we need to put the bug in these parents' ears so it won't look like we just coming down on them all the time. We need to help the parents too, train the damn parents so they won't neglect their damn kid like that. Because I don't like seeing stuff like that. And other than that, that's pretty much it. I ain't got too much on that. That's trifling.
Hey, look, man. This is a good one. I'm glad you were able to pull up so we could talk about it. I'm glad that this was put in a position where it could be discussed properly. Shout out to everybody who came out tonight. Miss Joy, Miss Rose, everybody that we'll watch this back on replay. I appreciate you. I appreciate my co-host for pulling up. We gotta talk off camera when this is done. Y'all be safe out here, man. Be alert. Be on your P's and Q's. Look at your loved ones. Hug them, kiss them, talk to them if they acting like a complete asshole and they really just out here wilding, man. Say something to them. You know what I mean? Even if it ain't your loved ones and you see something, like kind of nudge them, tell them, nah, this ain't where it's at. You know what I mean? And yeah, we gonna pull back up and spin the block on this drink, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bringing this topic up, man. We need some more light on it though. But like you said, we need to do better for a community, because if we can reach a kid that's out here kind of lost, it can help our future out, man. It ain't gotta be just our kids, you know what I'm saying? All kids kind of go through this type of these situations, man, at home, and they pretty much just need a listening ear. So if you can at least do that, be a damn listening ear, and maybe that can help keep these kids on the right path, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, man, I'm about to get up out of here, bro. Hit me up. We'll talk to the rest of the world, man. We gonna catch y'all on the next episode. Y'all be easy and enjoy the rest of y'all night. This Assembly of Excellence signing out.
We got a banger coming, so stay tuned. Peace.